News 40 at 5:30.
Several city blocks of Holyoke have been cordoned off at this hour as firefighters battle a massive warehouse fire. Good evening, I'm Kathy Tobin.
And I'm Dave Mattson. It is a scene reminiscent of some of the huge warehouse fires in Holyoke back in the 1980s. Today's fire at the old William Whiting paper mill. News 40's Stephen Cooper joins us live. He's been on the scene now for quite some time with the latest. Stephen?
Thank you, Dave and Kathy. I must tell you, this is a frightening scene, and from where I'm standing, several hundred yards away from the structure, I can feel the heat from here. You're looking at the Adams Packawood Corporation going up in a storm of fire behind me. The blaze, I'm told, started on the top floor and it was sweeping downward, and it continues to sweep downward as we report to you. This factory, closed for at least a year, probably more, manufactured wooden handles for knives. Because of that, there is much speculation here at the scene about oils, including kerosene in the floors, which would make this fire a much more difficult fire to fight. But firefighters on the scene tell me that to fight this blaze, they don't go inside the building. They don't go in the structure. There would be too much risk to do that. Instead, they do something called surround it and drown it. They just keep piling on the water, pouring on the water until they can get it into control. I'm sorry. So as we speak right now, this fire, yes, is out of control and will probably remain out of control until they can get enough water on the structure. I did overhear a few firefighters, this is not official, but I overheard a few firefighters saying it's very likely that that tower, I don't know if Doug can get a shot of that tower right there, over to the right-hand side, will probably collapse any minute or sometime in the next half hour, that it's very vulnerable. And when that thing collapses, you could very well see the entire wall that you're seeing in flames right now behind me collapse with it. So what we're talking about right now is a very dangerous situation. You see hundreds of people standing here on the scene watching the fire, but believe me, they're being kept back at a safe distance, although I will repeat, I can feel the heat from here. I'll also mention that at this hour, it was my understanding that a mayoral debate was going on in the city. So far, no candidate has been seen on the scene. We are looking to try to get some official word from one of the candidates or from another city official here in Holyoke. We'll be back, of course, with much more at 6 o'clock. I'm Stephen Cooper reporting live in Holyoke. Back to you, Dave and Kathy.
Stephen, I understand that there are fire departments there, not just from Holyoke, but mutual aid from Chicopee, South Hadley, and other cities and towns as well.
That's right. There's mutual aid called in from Granby, South Hadley, West Springfield. The West Springfield truck is right behind me. There are even efforts here from Westover Air Force Base. I understand also that Granby, the town of Granby, is sending in a very special hose that could really help pump in even more water onto this blaze. We'll have, of course, much more for you at 6.
All right, Stephen, thanks very much, and we look forward to that report. Kathy?
And that's the first half hour of News 40, though. Stay tuned for News 40 at 6.
Our top story, of course, tonight, Holyoke firefighters battling to control a massive warehouse fire at this hour. We'll be live from the scene in just 30 seconds.
Also at 6, a Holyoke gunsmith is on his way to prison for a fatal shooting. And we'll tell you why some area parents are worried about sending their children to school next week.
When you have a story for News 40 to cover, or you see an investigation in the making, fax us the details. The News 40 Just the Facts line is 788-7640. You're watching WGGB-TV's Springfield. Now, from your first 24-hour news source, Western Massachusetts news leader. This is News 40 at 6.
Another major fire in the city of Holyoke watches another block go up in flames. Good evening.
And I'm Dave Mattson. We have been watching this fire for more than an hour now. Firefighters from neighboring towns rushing to the scene of the warehouse blaze, but there is little they can do to stop this inferno. News 40's Stephen Cooper has been there. And Stephen, what's the latest?
The latest is, Dave and Priscilla, is that the fire still continues to burn out of control here at the Adams Packawood plant on Appleton Street in Holyoke. We're seeing crews from all over, from Granby, from South Hadley, from Westover Air Force Base come in and join in the efforts. Before I tell you anymore, I think we're going to turn to Granby Deputy Chief Jeff McPherson, who has been here with his department helping out. If you can just fill us in, give us some sort of an assessment for what's going on here. What are you folks up against?
Well, it's an old mill, so being 100 years old and all the type of stuff that's in there, it's just, as you can see, it's just burning. The main thing is to get as much water as we can. We've got called in because we have 5-inch hose and we've already laid in 3 lines and we're in the process of laying another one, trying to feed the other departments that are here on mutual aid. My assessment is that as long as we can protect the exposures because of the brands that are going everywhere, then this building is gone, but we'll be able to save the rest.
Okay, a couple of things. I hear you do not send firefighters into a building like this. You just sort of wait till there's enough water to douse it.
That is true. In a building like this, you would never send anybody in. At least I wouldn't in a command decision.
Again, dangers of the exterior walls collapsing the tower?
Yes, definitely. This tower, as you can see, is getting very weak. It should be stressed that they've moved all the fire people back away from the building just because of the danger of everything falling. These floors, when they get going, they just fall all the way to the bottom, and they'll just keep burning until it's, plenty of water douses it.
Thanks for your input. Thanks for your help, Deputy Chief Jeff McPherson from the Granby Fire Department. Let me join now by Michelle Labby, News 40's Michelle Labby, my colleague here. I know you've been on the scene. You talked to some fire officials in Holyoke who've been very hard to get because they've had their hands full. What did they tell you?
Okay. I talked with Deputy Chief LaFlamme, I believe his name is. He says there are about 60 firefighters on scene between Westover and Granby and South Hadley and West Springfield. The reason why it's so hard to put out is because of the building's mill construction. It's just, they built them better those days, right? There's oil on the floor because of that mill type of building, and there were oil in some transformers, and those are those explosions that we heard going off like about 20 minutes ago. I also found out that there were two companies in this building, Echo and Packwood Company. I think they both were involved with making plastics.
And some wood material too, I believe.
Exactly. Also, I talked with a firefighter from Westover. He said, I got here an hour ago. The communications are breaking down because there are so many units on the scene, but they are thankful for the canal system in Holyoke. It is helping them get water to the scene.
All righty, Michelle Labby, News 40's Michelle Labby. We're going to wrap it up now. We will, of course, have reports throughout the evening and much more on 11 at 11 tonight. Again, an abandoned factory in Holyoke, up in smoke and flames. No injuries reported. The crowds pushed back to a safe distance. I'm Stephen Cooper reporting live in Holyoke. Back to you.
All right, Stephen, we know you're going to be staying on the scene. Our crews will be staying on the scene and keeping us up to date. And if anything changes, we'll be checking back in with you. Thank you. Dave?
Congratulate them on a first-rate job. Turning to other news, the Massachusetts Commission Against Discrimination has found